Alright, so now we're gonna take a look at how to animate smoke. So just like fire, smoke can be broken down into a wave motion. The main difference is that smoke is a lot heavier than fire and it moves a lot slower. So while parts of a fire still keeps up its momentum as it dissipates into the air, smoke tends to slow down and dissipate at the same time. And just like in the fire, hot and cold air also creates turbulence in the smoke, pushing it and making it curl and slow down. And if you're animating a chimney style smoke, you would animate it quite similar to how you would animate a really tall fire, but with the main difference being that as the smoke rises, it slows down at the top. So now that we've learned how to animate a static fire, we're gonna introduce another element when we animate this smoke. So the idea here is that we're having some form of impact or explosion that is pushing this smoke outwards. And here we will get the curling motion because we have a bunch of static air here around it. And now that we start animating the smoke, we want to make it start out fast and then quite quickly make it slow down and start dissipating. So the first frames will be spaced quite far from each other, and then it will quickly start to slow down as it dissipates. So a circle would behave something like this. So here I have a trace rough. The frame I have here is not the first impact pose. So we're gonna start out by doing that. So I'm gonna go to the beginning here and turn on my onion skinning. And for the first frame, I wanna make a little reference oval here so that we're drawing this in perspective. And my idea here is that the cloud is gonna kind of roll and start out small and then go a bit bigger and then shrink down again. So for my first frame, I'm gonna do something like this. So now I'm drawing this so that we have a force that is aiming outward from the middle here. And then I'm gonna go to my next frame and I'm gonna draw this one somewhere in between here. So I'm gonna draw then I'm gonna keep in mind this shape here going over there. So something like this. Okay, so this is what we have. And we can ignore these small parts for now. So now I'm gonna go to the next empty frame here. And now I'm gonna make this cloud start slowing down. So I'm gonna draw these lines closer. And I'm gonna introduce some more turbulence here. So I'm gonna bend this cloud a bit upward. So we kind of have this indentation here. And I'm gonna draw these parts here closer together just to give it some more dynamics. So we have a lot of mass here moving fast, and over here it's kind of slowing down a bit earlier, so we get a bit of a drag. And I'm gonna keep rolling these. So it's not fully a classical wave motion, but it's more like we're following one wave being pushed. And then we're gonna take a look. So you can see we're starting out fast and then we start to slow down pretty fast. And now I'm gonna start to dissipate this by making the cloud smaller as it slows down here. So I'm drawing this frame even closer here. So notice a difference here and here. And now I'm gonna keep the curling going, but I'm gonna make the cloud smaller. And same here, I'm gonna push this wave forward, but I'm gonna make it smaller. So this is what we have. And then I'm gonna keep doing the same thing now. I'm gonna make the distance smaller here. And I'm gonna make the cloud get smaller. And here we can start breaking it up a bit. So we're starting off fast, and then we quickly slow down and the volume starts to shrink. And then now I'm gonna make this dissipate even faster. So I'm actually gonna break up this shape now. And with smoke, we want to take our time for it to dissipate. Because the smoke is heavy, it takes time to disperse into the air. So we can go quite slow with our ease out, but we don't want to overdo it. And for these little dissipating smoke puffs here, I'm gonna make them keep traveling, but they will shrink pretty fast. And I'm gonna go ahead and delete these ones, and then we'll add them later so we don't see them strobing right now. And then I'm gonna keep making these smaller. And don't overdo the breaking up of these parts, because it's easy to make your smoke kind of infinitely break down into smaller and smaller parts. So just make them ease out a few frames and then stop easing it out once they've reached a certain size. And keep in mind that they still have energy and they're traveling away from the original impact. But make sure that they don't speed up or that they don't travel too fast. Now we're gonna just do the last few drawings here. Okay, so let's look at what we have. All right, so here we have an impact and the smoke shooting out and dissipating. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add those secondary little smoke puffs. So these also have the force from the impact, so they will go outward here with the main cloud. So I'm keeping in mind that they're going in one direction here, but we can play with them kind of curling around as they're pushing onto the air. And now that we have this, if we want to make this impact a bit more forceful, we can play around with the frames in the beginning here. So we can make this first frame on ones and see how it looks like. So now we have an even more forceful impact. So now if you want to clean this up, you would basically do it the same way that you did with the fire.